Hey team, it's time to reveal the mystery camera film. So this is something that we launched back on Black Friday, and we said we're not going to say what film it is inside it. It's based upon a film in our stock. That doesn't narrow it down hugely from 200, but it's 35mm black and white. That does narrow it down a little bit. We said develop it as if it was Ilford HP5. Hopefully again that narrows it down a little bit more. And then just said, submit guesses, and we will award the person who gets it right, or one of the people who get it right, with some films from the emulsion it's based on. Now, in an incredible plot twist, one person across all the social media did get it right, so we'll come on to that in a second. But first of all, let's talk through some of the guesses. So, firstly, worth pointing out, this film caused people some issues, especially home developing. We had several comments about how it feels very different to normal films, slightly trickier to manage. Despite the developing times being standard, the actual film usage was quite tough, which will all make sense in a minute. And we didn't want to make it too easy. But the guesses that we had were really, really interesting. So if I go through a few of them, one from Neil Piper fairly recently said Kentmere 400, ? He was texting me before actually saying maybe Ilford, maybe Kentmere, but that's definitely where he was leaning straight away. Although he also started guesswork by trying to work out where I'd been just before announcing it, which is a brave thing to try and do, putting the pieces together. Someone else also said Kentmere 400. Pangdam on Instagram guessed Kentmere 400. I don't know whether these are people guessing it from the speed as well. Let's have a look. Red Ritchie on Twitter had two guesses. The first one was Silbera Ultima 160. He talked about the fact that, I assume it's a he, from Ritchie, but apologies if not. They talked about how they wished that they had shot it at 400. I think it sounds as though they'd made the choice to shoot it a bit under and pull it, and then they said it was a bit dark. So, yep, it is a 400 speed film, and so pulling it would result in maybe it being a bit darker. He did a second guess, which said generally Kodak. Bit too broad to be allowed in, but I like the idea. Also on Twitter and also on Instagram I saw as well, Karen Freer guessed Ilford FP4, which again, someone else guessed FP4. Lucky13 on Instagram guessed FP4. One person went for HP5. There was a really out there guess for T-Max P3200, which I was a little surprised by, because you'd have to be 3 stops different to then shoot and develop it at 400. But I love the attempt. Someone guessed Foma 100. Someone guessed Retro 400S, which is a pretty good shout. But the winner, there can only be one winner, because there was literally only one winner. And that is Tonicha Gordon Photography on Instagram. Congratulations. And you guessed Street Candy. Street Candy film is correct. Now, the reason I said it's based on is actually it's a bit more complicated than that. We decided to not make it too easy. So, full disclosure, we were working with not only Street Candy, but also somebody who helps us load films to create this. And sourced from Orwo, maybe if you're not speaking German, ORWO film. However, it's based on Orwo 400, but aficionados of that kind of film will know that there are several different film-based thicknesses you can source and shoot. This is based on 100 microns. Now, Street Candy was originally 60, I think it's now 120, and notoriously thin. You'll also notice that when it's undeveloped, it's slightly greenish versus something like an HP5. This is a 100 micron base film, so the thinness or thickness or lack thereof will have been slightly different to what you're used to maybe from Ilford or Kentmere, but some of the tones are absolutely gorgeous. And then when you look back at maybe some of the challenges people had home developing, getting it on and off the reel, that might make sense, because that's something that when you buy some of those films that aren't the core regular PET bases, you might understand. But that's part of the fun, part of the mystery. So loved seeing some of the images that have come out. We'll now change the website description to give it the clarity. But thanks so much everyone for getting involved and for having fun. We've still got a few left actually, so we'll keep them up until they sell out. Now that you know what it is, hopefully it will arm you a little better for the shooting situations. But I really enjoyed seeing the fact that people were shooting a little bit blind, and hopefully you did too. And that was it. There we go. The mystery no more. Now for the next one. We have some time. Thanks.